Did you know that too much sugar can lead to diabetes, heart disease, and even accelerate aging? Many seniors unknowingly consume hidden sugars every day, putting their health at serious risk. In today's video, we'll reveal 6 sugary foods that are secretly harming your body and what you should eat instead to stay healthy and strong. Don't let these foods ruin your golden years. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your loved ones. Also, drop a comment below if you've been eating any of these foods. We want to hear from you. Now, let's get started. 1. Candy and sweets, the silent enemy of seniors' health. Candies and sweets have long held a special place in the diet of many people. Their delicious flavors, eye-catching colors, and ability to instantly satisfy cravings make them a favorite treat for people of all ages. From the crunch of cookies to the melting sensation of chocolate, these treats are an irresistible experience. However, while they may seem harmless or even comforting, candy and sweets pose a major health risk to seniors. What starts as a simple indulgence can quickly lead to a host of health problems, especially for older adults whose bodies are no longer able to handle the consequences of excessive sugar consumption. In this article, we will explore why candy is a potential threat, the specific risks it poses, and healthier alternatives. The core problem with candy is its high sugar content, mostly refined sugar. A typical chocolate bar can contain 20 to 40 grams of sugar, sometimes more, far exceeding the World Health Organization's recommended daily allowance, which recommends limiting added sugars to less than 10% of total calories. Likewise, a small bag of candy or a few cookies can push your sugar intake beyond the safe limit. This type of sugar has a high glycemic index, meaning it is absorbed quickly into the bloodstream, causing spikes in glucose. In young people, the pancreas is usually able to produce enough insulin to control this. But in older people, the pancreas's ability to function declines with age, making it difficult to manage spikes in blood sugar. Over time, this stress leads to insulin resistance, paving the way for type 2 diabetes, a common disease in older adults. The effects of candy don't stop at regulating blood sugar. Regular consumption creates a vicious cycle of glucose spikes and dips. After a spike in blood sugar, the body secretes a large amount of insulin to compensate, leading to reactive hypoglycemia, making the elderly tired, dizzy, and even craving more sweets. If repeated, the pancreas gradually becomes exhausted, losing the ability to control blood sugar. Studies show that elderly people who consume too much sugar are 30 to 40% more likely to develop diabetes than those who limit sugar, showing the long-term danger from these seemingly harmless foods. In addition to diabetes, sweets also damage the cardiovascular system. Sugar not only affects insulin but also increases bad cholesterol, LDL, and triglycerides in the blood, contributing to the formation of atherosclerotic plaques, obstructing blood circulation and increasing the risk of heart attack or stroke. The American Heart Association found that people who consume a lot of sugar are 38% more likely to die from heart disease than those who eat less sugar, a worrying figure for the elderly who are already vulnerable to cardiovascular disease. What's more, empty calories from sweets, lacking essential nutrients, can easily lead to weight gain, especially as older adults' metabolisms slow down. Excess sugar turns into visceral fat, which builds up around vital organs, increasing the risk of high blood pressure, fatty liver, and heart failure. The brain is also affected by sugary treats. New research suggests that excessive sugar consumption causes chronic inflammation in the brain, which is linked to cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. When you eat sweets, your brain releases dopamine, which creates a temporary feeling of pleasure. However, repeated consumption can alter the brain's reward system, leading to a dependence on sugar as a form of addiction. In older adults, this can lead to increased reliance on sweets for pleasure, while memory and thinking skills gradually decline. Sugar also has a negative impact on bones. With its acidic nature, sugar forces the body to draw calcium from the bones to neutralize it, reducing bone density and increasing the risk of osteoporosis, a serious problem in old age, causing bones to break easily and affecting mobility. Oral health is also at risk. Tooth enamel weakens with age, making older adults susceptible to cavities and gum disease. Sugar from sweets sticks to teeth, feeding bacteria that destroy tooth enamel, causing cavities and lowering the pH in the mouth, accelerating tooth decay. Fortunately, there are healthy alternatives. Nuts like almonds, walnuts, and cashews provide energy from good fats and protein without raising blood sugar. Low-sugar fruits like avocados, strawberries, blueberries, and grapefruit provide natural sweetness along with vitamins and antioxidants. Chocolate lovers can choose dark chocolate with over 85% cocoa to enjoy the flavor while still getting the benefits of polyphenol. Plain yogurt with natural honey or fresh fruit is a delicious option, while honey, in moderation, can replace refined sugar. In short, while candy and sweets may provide temporary pleasure, they are silent enemies of senior health. High sugar content contributes to a cascade of harms ranging from diabetes and heart disease to obesity, cognitive decline, osteoporosis, and tooth decay. The good news is that these risks can be minimized with smart substitutions. By choosing natural foods rich in nutrients, the elderly can protect their health, live more fully and strongly, and stay away from the dangers of every piece of candy or cake. 2. Sugary drinks, sugar bombs that destroy the health of the elderly. Sugary drinks such as soft drinks, milk tea, or energy drinks may seem harmless at first glance, bringing a refreshing feeling and a pleasant sweet taste, but in fact they are one of the biggest dangers to health. Behind that appeal is a huge amount of sugar, putting the elderly at risk of obesity, diabetes, fatty liver, and many other chronic diseases. At this age, the body is no longer able to process sugar as effectively as when young, making controlling sugar intake more important than ever. Most of these drinks contain refined sugar with a high glycemic index, fructose from corn syrup linked to fatty liver, along with artificial sweeteners and preservatives that can cause inflammation or affect the liver and kidneys when used for a long time. A typical can of soda contains 35 to 40 grams of sugar, the equivalent of 10 teaspoons, but it doesn't make you feel full, making it easy for you to take in extra calories without realizing it. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, people who consume more than 1 can of soda a day are 60% more likely to be obese, an alarming number for older people who already have slow metabolisms. The fructose in these drinks also increases insulin resistance, forcing the pancreas to work overtime, leading to type 2 diabetes. A Harvard study found a 26% increased risk in people who drink soda every day. What's more, excess sugar is converted to fat in the liver, increasing bad cholesterol and triglycerides, causing atherosclerosis, high blood pressure, and according to the American Heart Association, the risk of heart disease increases by 35% in people who drink more than 2 cans a day. Fatty liver is also a serious consequence of fructose accumulation, which can progress to cirrhosis if left unchecked, with 85% of people with the disease having a habit of consuming sugary drinks regularly. In addition, sugar also causes brain inflammation, impairs memory, and increases the risk of Alzheimer's by 47%, affecting concentration and mood. Oral health is also not immune to the damage. When sugar feeds bacteria that cause tooth decay, combined with phosphoric acid in soft drinks to quickly erode tooth enamel, the risk of tooth decay increases by 62% in heavy drinkers. As an alternative, seniors should choose filtered water, herbal teas such as green tea or ginger, unsweetened natural fruit juices such as lemon, grapefruit, or coconut water, and unsweetened nut milk such as almond milk. If it is difficult to quit the habit immediately, you can dilute soft drinks, switch to unsweetened tea, or read labels to choose drinks with less than 5 g of sugar per 100 milliliters. In short, sugary drinks are dangerous sugar bombs, and limiting them and replacing them with healthier options is the best way to protect the health of older adults. 3. White bread and refined flour products, the hidden enemy of blood sugar. White bread, pastries, pasta, and crispy crackers, these everyday staples share a common ingredient, refined flour, a substance notorious for its ability to spike blood sugar levels rapidly. In youth, the body can efficiently handle fast-absorbing carbohydrates, but for the elderly, a slowing metabolism transforms these foods into a significant health hazard, particularly for those at risk of diabetes, heart disease, or obesity. Refined flour, stripped of the wheat's nutrient-rich bran and germ during processing, leaves behind a starchy core devoid of fiber, vitamins, and minerals, loaded instead with high glycemic carbohydrates, gluten that may trouble sensitive stomachs, and preservatives or additives that enhance texture but offer no health benefits. This composition makes white bread and its refined flour counterparts a stealthy adversary, quietly undermining the well-being of older adults. With a glycemic index ranging from 75 to 85, comparable to pure sugar, white bread causes blood glucose to surge after consumption, placing immense pressure on the pancreas to produce insulin. Over time, this relentless demand can lead to insulin resistance, elevating the risk of type 2 diabetes by 30 to 40%, according to Harvard Medical School research. The lack of fiber compounds the problem, failing to provide lasting fullness and encouraging overeating, with excess sugar converting into visceral fat, the dangerous kind linked to obesity, heart disease, and stroke. The U.S. National Institute of Nutrition found that those consuming more than 3 slices of white bread daily face a 47% higher obesity risk, a stark warning for aging bodies with sluggish metabolisms. The cardiovascular system also pays a steep price for refined flour's effects. These carbohydrates elevate bad cholesterol, LDL, and triglycerides in the blood, fostering atherosclerosis, the buildup of arterial plaque that restricts blood flow and heightens the chances of hypertension, heart attacks, and strokes. The American Heart Association urges older adults to minimize white bread intake, advocating for whole grains as a heart-protective alternative. Digestion suffers as well, with the absence of fiber in refined flour products leading to constipation and bloating, issues exacerbated in the elderly, whose digestive systems naturally slow with age. Without adequate greens or water to compensate, this dietary shortfall can weaken the gut microbiome, disrupting overall health. Even the brain isn't spared, as a diet heavy in refined carbs correlates with a 40% increased risk of Alzheimer's, per the Alzheimer's Research Institute, alongside symptoms like brain fog, poor focus, and early cognitive decline. These wide-ranging consequences, from blood sugar instability to organ damage, reveal white bread and refined flour products as far more than mere conveniences. They are hidden threats lurking in plain sight. The rapid blood sugar spikes from white bread stem from its highly processed nature. Unlike whole grains, which retain fiber to slow digestion and moderate glucose release, refined flour breaks down almost instantly into simple sugars, flooding the bloodstream. For younger individuals, this may pose little issue, but in older adults, the pancreas struggles to keep pace, especially as insulin sensitivity wanes. Repeated exposure erodes metabolic resilience, paving the way for chronic conditions that diminish quality of life. Beyond diabetes, the visceral fat accumulation tied to refined carbs is particularly insidious, wrapping around vital organs like the liver and heart, amplifying risks of fatty liver disease and cardiovascular failure. Studies show this fat doesn't just add weight, it actively secretes inflammatory compounds, further stressing an aging body. Meanwhile, the digestive tract, already less efficient in later years, faces a double burden. Not only does refined flour lack the fiber needed for smooth bowel function, but its gluten content can irritate sensitive systems, leading to discomfort or even long-term gut issues if overconsumed without balance. Fortunately, smarter alternatives can replace these risky foods without sacrificing satisfaction. Whole grain bread, rich in fiber and vitamins, stabilizes blood sugar while supporting digestion and heart health. Brown rice and oats, with their low glycemic indices, provide sustained energy and bolster cardiovascular resilience. Sweet potatoes and quinoa offer nutrient-dense carbohydrates that avoid sudden glucose spikes, nourishing the body without strain. Chia and flax seeds deliver omega-3 fatty acids and fiber, benefiting both brain and heart function, while almond or coconut flour-based breads cater to low-care needs, ideal for diabetics. Transitioning away from white bread needn't feel abrupt. Small steps can ease the shift. Start by swapping white bread for whole grain versions, mixing brown rice with white to adjust gradually, or replacing crackers with almonds, walnuts, or oat-based snacks. For pasta lovers, lentil-based noodles, brown rice pasta, or sweet potato noodles offer flavorful, healthful substitutes. These incremental changes maintain enjoyment while steering clear of refined flour's pitfalls. In conclusion, white bread and refined flour products may be convenient staples, but they pose a covert danger to elderly health. Their ability to destabilize blood sugar, promote visceral fat, impair digestion, and threaten heart and brain function makes them a foe worth avoiding. By limiting white bread, pasta, and crackers and embracing whole grain bread, brown rice, oats, and nutrient-rich seeds, older adults can protect their blood sugar and sustain long-term vitality. The shift may require effort, but the reward, a healthier, more resilient body, is well within reach. 4. Dried fruit and fruit jams, dangerously sweet threats to elderly health. Fruits have long been celebrated as a cornerstone of a healthy diet, brimming with vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber, yet not all fruit-based products retain these virtues. Dried fruits and fruit jams stand out as deceptive exceptions. While they originate from wholesome fresh fruits, the transformation through drying or jam-making strips away water, concentrates sugar, diminishes fiber, and often introduces added syrups or preservatives, turning them into potent sources of sugar that pose serious risks to elderly health. This processing fundamentally alters their nutritional profile. A fresh grape with just 1 gram of sugar becomes a raisin packing 4 to 5 grams, meaning a small cup of raisins can deliver over 100 grams of sugar, equivalent to nearly 3 cans of soda. Such a concentrated dose, with its high glycemic index, sends blood sugar soaring, straining the pancreas and elevating the risk of type 2 diabetes by 32%, according to the American Diabetes Association. For older adults, whose metabolic efficiency wanes with age, this rapid glucose spike is particularly perilous, as excess sugar does not burn off morphs into visceral fat, heightening the chances of obesity, hypertension, and heart disease. The compact size of dried fruit belies its caloric density, making overconsumption easy since it fails to signal fullness, a trap that amplifies weight gain in bodies already slowing down. The cardiovascular consequences of these sugary treats are equally alarming. The high sugar load in dried fruits and jams boosts triglycerides in the blood, a known risk factor for heart disease, while added glucose syrups or artificial sweeteners in some products drive up bad cholesterol, LDL, fostering atherosclerosis, the arterial clogging that precipitates heart attacks and strokes. The American Heart Association warns that individuals deriving more than 25% of their daily calories from sugar face double the risk of dying from heart disease compared to those with lower intake, a sobering statistic for the elderly, who are inherently more vulnerable to circulatory issues. Beyond metabolic and heart health, dental damage looms large. Unlike fresh fruit, whose sugar disperses with water content, the sticky residue of dried fruit clings to teeth, feeding bacteria that produce enamel-eroding acids. Accelerating tooth decay concern magnified in older adults with naturally weakening teeth and sensitive gums. Dentists frequently advise limiting these foods and brushing immediately after consumption to mitigate harm, yet the risks extend further still. Many dried fruits are treated with sulfur dioxide to preserve their vibrant color, a chemical that, while effective, can irritate the respiratory tract, triggering coughing, throat discomfort, or breathing difficulties in those with asthma or chronic lung conditions, hidden danger in an otherwise appealing snack. This transformation from fresh to processed fruit doesn't just amplify sugar content, it erodes the very qualities that make fruit beneficial. The loss of water concentrates natural sugars exponentially, while the reduction in fiber strips away the mechanism that slows sugar absorption, leaving behind a product that hits the bloodstream like a freight train. In fresh fruit, fiber acts as a buffer, tempering glucose release and supporting digestion, but in dried versions, this safeguard dwindles, amplifying the metabolic shock. Added sugar or syrups, common in jams and some dried fruits, push the total sugar load beyond safe thresholds, often surpassing what's found in overtly unhealthy sodas. Even the preservation process introduces complications. Sulfur dioxide, though a standard additive, isn't benign for all, with sensitive individuals, particularly the elderly with respiratory frailties, facing potential allergic reactions or exacerbated symptoms. A handful of dried fruit might seem like a nutritious choice, but its sugar punch rivals that of candy, delivering a deceptive blow to health under the guise of wholesomeness. Happily, safer alternatives abound for those seeking fruit's benefits without the pitfalls. Fresh options like apples, rich in heart-healthy pectin, or berries such as strawberries and blueberries, packed with antioxidants yet low in sugar, offer natural sweetness with protective nutrients. Kiwi and oranges provide vitamin C without triggering sharp blood sugar spikes, while grapefruit and pomegranate help lower cholesterol and stabilize glucose levels. For convenience without compromise, frozen fruits retain nearly all their original nutrition without water loss, making them a smart substitute. Unsweetened fruit smoothies blend flavor and health seamlessly, and for a snack with staying power, almonds or walnuts deliver protein and healthy fats minus the sugar overload. Transitioning from dried fruit or jams needn't feel drastic, small adjustments pave the way. Start by cutting portions, savoring just a piece or two instead of a handful, or pairing dried fruit with nuts to slow sugar absorption. Gradually shift to fresh or frozen varieties, and scrutinize labels to dodge added sugars, corn syrup, or sulfur dioxide when buying packaged options. In conclusion, dried fruits and fruit jams may masquerade as healthful indulgences, but their concentrated sugars and lurking risks render them dangerously sweet for the elderly. From spiking blood sugar and fueling visceral fat to straining the heart, rotting teeth, and irritating lungs, these processed treats undermine the very vitality they seem to promise. By prioritizing fresh fruits and steering clear of their dried or jammed counterparts, older adults can safeguard their cardiovascular health, blood sugar stability, and overall wellness. The sweetness of fruit is best enjoyed in its natural state, unprocessed, unconcentrated, and unequivocally good. 5. Sugared milk and condensed milk, sweet drinks that endanger elderly health. Milk has long been hailed as a nutritional powerhouse, delivering calcium, protein, and essential micronutrients, yet not all milk lives up to this reputation. Sugared milk and condensed milk harbor a deceptive sweetness that poses significant risks to the elderly. Many older adults cherish a daily milk habit, unaware that the staggering sugar content in these varieties can quietly fuel obesity, type 2 diabetes, high blood lipids, and even osteoporosis, serious health threats that intensify with age. A single can of condensed milk packs 40 to 50 grams of sugar, roughly 10 to 12 teaspoons, while sugared fresh milk or premixed powdered milk offers 5 to 10 grams per 100 milliliters. A modest 200 to 300 milliliter serving delivers nearly 20 grams of sugar, edging perilously close to the 25-gram daily limit recommended by the American Heart Association. This sugar onslaught spikes blood glucose rapidly, taxing the pancreas to churn out insulin incessantly, a strain that, over time, fosters insulin resistance and elevates the risk of type 2 diabetes, danger amplified for those already diabetic or pre-diabetic, where post-meal blood sugar surges can spiral out of control. Excess sugar doesn't just vanish. In the less active bodies of the elderly, it transforms into visceral fat, piling on weight and amplifying risks of obesity, hypertension, and heart disease, conditions that thrive in sedentary lifestyles. The cardiovascular fallout from these sweetened milks is equally dire. Beyond sugar, condensed milk often brims with saturated fats, driving up triglycerides and bad cholesterol, LDL, in the blood, laying the groundwork for atherosclerosis, the arterial hardening that precipitates heart attacks and strokes. The American Heart Association's research is stark. Those consuming high sugar loads face a 38% greater risk of dying from heart disease, a statistic that hits harder for older adults with pre-existing vulnerabilities like high cholesterol or a history of cardiac issues. Counterintuitively, the promise of milk as a bone-strengthening ally falters with added sugar. Far from bolstering skeletal health, sugar hampers calcium absorption, meaning bones receive less of this critical mineral than needed, heightening the risk of osteoporosis and fractures, especially devastating for the elderly, where healing slows. Condensed milk, despite its calcium content, offers little skeletal benefit, drowned out by its overwhelming sugar and fat load, undermining the very reason many turn to milk in the first place. Digestive woes add another layer of concern. Lactose, a natural milk sugar, can trigger bloating or diarrhea in those with intolerance, a common issue as people age. While condensed milk's saturated fats may lead to indigestion or constipation, exacerbated by additives and some powdered mixes that unsettle sensitive stomachs. This hidden peril in sugared milk stems from its departure from milk's natural state. Plain milk offers balanced nutrition, but the addition of sugar, whether stirred into fresh milk or condensed into a thick, syrupy form, tips the scales toward harm. A mere glass can rival soda in sugar content, yet it's often sipped with a false sense of virtue, masking its metabolic toll. For the elderly, whose bodies process nutrients less efficiently, this excess sugar doesn't just add calories, it actively disrupts blood sugar regulation, fat storage, and mineral uptake. The saturated fats in condensed milk compound the damage, pairing with sugar to clog arteries and burden digestion, a duo that hits harder as physical activity declines. Even the psychological comfort of a warm milk drink turns bittersweet when its consequences unfold: weight gain that strains joints, blood lipids that threaten circulation, and bones that weaken rather than fortify under the guise of a wholesome staple. Thankfully, healthier alternatives abound to preserve milk's benefits without the risks. Unsweetened fresh milk retains its core nutrient calcium, protein, and vitamins without spiking blood sugar, making it a safe daily choice. Plant-based milks, like almond, walnut, soy, oat, or cashew varieties, offer low-sugar profiles with heart-friendly fats and plant proteins, ideal for those seeking variety or lactose-free options. Just ensure they're unsweetened to sidestep hidden sugars. Unsweetened yogurt delivers probiotics for gut health alongside calcium, while skim or organic milk cuts saturated fat, supporting cardiovascular wellness. Transitioning from sugared milk needn't feel jarring. Small steps ease the shift. Gradually reduce sugar when mixing powdered milk, swap condensed milk for unsweetened fresh milk in recipes, experiment with plant milks to find a favorite, and ditch the habit of sweetening coffee or tea with condensed dollops. These tweaks maintain flavor while shedding the hazards of excess sugar and fat. In conclusion, sugared milk and condensed milk may tempt with their sweet allure, but they're perilous for elderly health, laden with sugar and fats that undermine well-being. From diabetes and obesity to heart disease, bone loss, and digestive distress, their risks outweigh any fleeting comfort. By embracing unsweetened milk, plant-based options, or other calcium-rich foods like greens, almonds, or salmon, older adults can nurture their health, stabilize weight, and fend off chronic disease. The sweetest choice is the one that prioritizes longevity over indulgence, plain, simple, and truly nourishing. 6. Sugary breakfast cereals and canned foods, hidden hazards to elderly health. Breakfast cereals and canned foods are often marketed as convenient, nutrient-packed options, but beneath their appealing facade lies a troubling reality. Many are laden with hidden sugars and stripped of genuine nutritional value, posing a stealthy threat to the health of older adults. As metabolism slows with age, the excessive sugar lurking in these products, whether in sweetened cereals, packaged granola, flavored yogurts, syrup-soaked canned fruits, or even savory items like canned soups and sauces, can unleash a cascade of health issues, from obesity and type 2 diabetes to cardiovascular disease and digestive woes. A typical 30-gram serving of sugary cereal delivers 10 to 20 grams of sugar. Packaged granola packs 12 to 15 grams per 50 grams. A yogurt cup offers 15 to 25 grams. And canned fruit in syrup contributes 15 to 30 grams per serving, while processed sauces or soups sneak in 5 to 15 grams, all fueled by high-fructose corn syrup, maltose, dextrose, or sucrose, sugars that spike blood glucose rapidly. This surge burdens the pancreas, driving insulin production into overdrive and, over time, fostering insulin resistance, a stepping stone to type 2 diabetes risk that escalates in the elderly, whose bodies metabolize sugar less efficiently. The high glycemic index of sugary cereals fails to sustain fullness, prompting overeating that piles on visceral fat, the dangerous kind linked to hypertension, strokes, and obesity. A problem worsened by the empty calories and preservatives in canned goods. The cardiovascular toll of these foods is no less severe. Excess sugar elevates bad cholesterol, LDL, and triglycerides in the bloodstream, paving the way for atherosclerosis, the arterial plaque buildup that heightens the odds of heart attacks and strokes. Additives and artificial sweeteners in processed foods can further inflame the body and raise blood pressure, compounding the danger. The American Heart Association's findings are stark. Those with high sugar intake face a 38% greater risk of heart disease mortality, a statistic that resonates deeply for older adults already prone to circulatory challenges. Beyond metabolic and heart health, digestion takes a hit. The refining process strips cereals of fiber, vitamins, and minerals, leaving behind a product that contributes to constipation and digestive irritation, issues that strike harder in aging systems naturally prone to slowdowns. Canned foods, with their preservatives and additives, can exacerbate this, unsettling the gut while depriving the body of vital nutrients like B12, iron, and calcium, deficiencies that erode overall vitality over time. What's marketed as a quick, wholesome choice often delivers little more than sugar and salt, masquerading as sustenance while quietly undermining well-being. The insidious nature of these products lies in their processing. Whole grains, in their natural state, offer fiber to slow digestion and nutrients to nourish, but sugary cereals undergo refinement that obliterates these benefits, leaving a carbohydrate shell that hits the bloodstream like a sugar bomb. Canned foods, meanwhile, trade freshness for shelf life, dousing fruits in syrup or infusing soups with hidden sweeteners to mask blandness, all while leaching away vitamins through heat and preservation. High fructose corn syrup, a staple in both, doesn't just add sweetness, it's metabolized differently, taxing the liver and amplifying fat storage, a double blow for older adults less equipped to burn it off. The convenience comes at a cost. A single bowl of cereal or a can of fruit can rival a candy bar in sugar content, yet it's consumed with a false sense of healthfulness, amplifying its deceptive harm. For the elderly, whose nutritional needs demand balance over excess, this mismatch between promise and reality turns a daily habit into a slow-acting threat. Fortunately, wholesome alternatives can reclaim nutrition without sacrificing ease. Plain oats, unsweetened and fiber-rich, stabilize blood sugar while supporting digestion, a far cry from their sugary counterparts. Nutrient-dense seeds and nuts, like almonds, walnuts, chia, or flax, deliver protein and healthy fats without sugar crash. Whole grains such as brown rice, barley, or buckwheat offer sustained energy and weight control, while fresh fruits eclipse their canned cousins with natural vitamins and no refined sugars. Unsweetened yogurt or fresh cheese brings probiotics and calcium, bolstering gut health without the sweet overload. When shopping, scrutinizing labels is key. Steer clear of high fructose corn syrup, cane sugar, maltose, or dextrose lurking in ingredient lists. Transitioning needn't be abrupt. Swap sugary cereals for whole grain versions topped with fresh fruit for natural sweetness. Cook oats instead of grabbing boxed mixes. Prepare meals from fresh ingredients rather than canned shortcuts, and whip up homemade tomato sauce from ripe tomatoes instead of relying on sugary store-bought jars. These shifts preserve flavor while shedding the hazards of processed excess. In conclusion, sugary breakfast cereals and canned foods may promise convenience and nutrition, but they harbor hidden dangers that imperil elderly health, from diabetes and obesity to heart disease and digestive distress. Their sugar-laden, nutrient-poor profiles make them a risky indulgence for aging bodies. By embracing whole oats, nuts, unprocessed grains, fresh fruits, and natural dairy, older adults can sidestep these pitfalls, fostering lasting wellness with every mindful bite. True nourishment lies not in a colorful box or a sealed can, but in the simplicity of nature's offerings. Elderly individuals should minimize high-sugar foods like candies, sodas, and processed items, as they raise risks of diabetes, obesity, heart disease, and digestive issues. Opt for wholesome alternatives like plain oats, nuts, and fresh fruits to sustain health. Always check product labels, steering clear of hidden sugars such as corn syrup or dextrose. Do you regularly monitor sugar in your food? Share your thoughts below. Like, share, and subscribe for more valuable insights. Let's promote a healthier lifestyle together. Stay informed and take small steps toward better well-being, starting with smarter food choices today.